Hi, I'm Skye McAlpine, and this is how I host. Come on in. So today I'm going to put together a festive feast. I love this time of year because it's a wonderful excuse to bring the people that you love together and to go over the top. So you kind of want to start either with the bare surface of the table, or if you're thinking of a tablecloth, it feels kind of very like special occasion to have a white tablecloth. These plates, which are part of my own range, they're all hand painted with bows. I love bows. They're green and they're red, so those feel to me like very kind of festive, celebratory colours. And of course you plan the menu, but then you need to serve it on something, so plates that feel complimentary. Today we're going to cook a few recipes from my new book, The Christmas Companion. It's perfect for the festive season. And we're going to start with lovely gnocchi gratin made with a crumbling of toasted panettone on top. Fresh red chicory salad, then roasted sprouts to finish off a gingerbread, cranberry and zabaione trifle. So we're going to start with the sprouts. I mean, it's not really Christmas if you don't have sprouts. I love this way of cooking them where you kind of roast them in the oven. Toss them with this sort of sticky sauce that's made with dates that almost caramelise. And then I like to crumble over a few chopped pistachios as well. If I could only eat Brussels sprouts cooked this way for the rest of my life, I'd honestly die a very happy woman. No such thing as too much olive oil. And then a really generous sprinkling of salt. These will go really nice and crispy in the oven, and then they're just going to be delicious. The colour and the look of a food will set the tone in some ways and can be so beautiful. It's part of the decoration. I'm definitely a big believer in a proper fabric cotton napkin because I think that it just feels so luxurious. If you've got a nice big napkin that you can drape over your lap, it definitely makes you feel kind of very welcome in the meal. I love adding a little vintage something. Old things add story and character. So we're going to put the glasses on next. These are the wedding present, so they're very precious to me. They're this beautiful kind of champagne colour, which almost feels golden, so it feels quite celebratory. My friends would probably describe my hosting style as chaotic. I hope they'd say fun, friendly, and probably slightly greedy. I feel like there's always lots of food. One thing that I love at Christmas is a salad. So I think you eat so much rich food. It's nice to have a pop of freshness. And I love red chicory for that because it looks so festive and it's such a beautiful colour. So my go-to for a salad is I often make a dressing which has a base of kind of mayonnaise with olive oil and a little bit of vinegar and maybe like a mild mustard. I like to use fresh crisp leaves and have different kinds of leaves so you kind of have that contrast of texture and shape. And then it's nice to toss in little, what I like to think of as extras. Blue cheese, pomegranate seeds, and then nuts. This recipe, I like to use some caramelised pecans, which is super indulgent, and so it kind of makes it feel that extra bit special. I like having different heights for the candles because I think it adds a bit of drama to the table. I think because it's the festive season, I'd love it to feel a little bit glamorous. The mood that you want is kind of, imagine yourself wearing a ball gown but going barefoot. Very celebratory, but also warm and cozy and comfortable. My top tips for making entertaining or hosting feeling effortless is I think do as much in advance as you can. Laying the table the night before. Thinking about small things that you can do that are very visual and will have like a strong impact. My inspiration, a lot of it comes from kind of Victorian or Georgian tables that are like really over the top. My favourite tricks for making a festive table feel special is to just fill it full of my favourite things. The fruits that I choose to decorate the table, I'll largely choose what's in season, and also I love the colours. Pomegranates, this lovely deep red that feels very festive. The pears have lovely shade of blushing red. Walnuts, I always think Christmas because I have them in my stocking. Kind of the nutcracker ballet where you have all these sweets and fruit and beautiful things and nuts and delicious, spoiling, joyful things that you wouldn't have at your table on an average day. I grew up in Venice. It's these incredible, opulent extravagant, like nowhere else in the world kind of buildings, but they're often kind of crumbling because they're old and the conditions there are quite harsh. That actually translates really nicely to a table. You want it to feel opulent and over the top, but you also want it to be kind of imperfect. It's nice for things to be scattered on the table, not be perfectly kind of contained. I love this dish because it's really comforting. It's gnocchi, pumpkin and sage. It's such a classic combination in Italian cooking. I add in, controversially, quite a lot of grated cheddar, which is such a British cheese, and yet this is quite an Italian dish. But also some crumbled toasted panettone, which adds that touch of sweetness and it makes it feel really festive. So much of the way I cook is influenced by Italy. It is home for me and a lot of my childhood memories, especially around the festive season. So now for my finishing touch, I'm going to add lots and lots of chocolate gold coins. Something my mother always does on her Christmas table. So for me, it really wouldn't be Christmas if there weren't gold coins everywhere. I've laid all the food out here so everyone can help themselves, and also because, you know, the table is pretty full with all our decorations. And I quite like it actually because it gives all the guests a chance to chat with maybe not the person they're sat next to at dinner, and come back and help themselves to seconds and hopefully thirds as well. And last but not least, we have the trifle. So the bottom layer is sticky spiced gingerbread. So rich and spiced and just innately tastes like Christmas. Tart cranberry sauce. There's a layer of zabaione custard. And then we've got the whipped cream. There's just a few toasted almonds. Just says massive festive celebration. Everyone dig in with a spoon. I hope it's going to be a dinner where we all enjoy the yummy food, but also just linger on long after we've finished eating. Oh, there's my guests. I better go let them in.